Ciao, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Bites of Italy. I'm Natalie.
And I'm Scotty. This is episode 23 of our podcast, and it's our second time exploring Milan's incredible food scene.
That's right. In the previous episode, we introduced you to some of our favorite restaurants in the city, those must-try spots that capture Milan's dining scene. But today, we're switching gears. We're talking about the equally delicious but far more affordable side of Milan.
Yeah. Today, our mission is essentially a rescue operation. We want to shake off Milanese gastronomy's reputation of being prohibitively expensive. The general opinion is that finding authentic, top-quality food in Milan that won't break the bank is impossible, that it's too big of a challenge for anyone visiting.
Exactly. But as we know, sometimes one just wants a high-quality, authentic, and affordable Italian meal. So, we've found places that not only serve great food, but also offer a true Milanese experience without the crazy price tag.
Today, we're giving you 3 distinct specific lunch solutions that honestly just demolish that expensive Milan myth. And we're taking you to a great neighborhood for lunch, Porta Venezia. It is electric. It's known globally for its fantastic multi-ethnic vibe, the beautiful Art Nouveau and modernist architecture. Great parks, too.
Absolutely. Porta Venezia is on Time Out's list of coolest neighborhoods for a reason, right? It's where culture and convenience meet.
But when you're on the move, maybe you're running between exhibitions or doing some shopping, you are often looking for quality food that comes fast and is reasonably priced.
So, speed, authenticity, and value. That's what we're offering you today. Let's unpack this.
Let's do it. Our first stop really captures that Milan efficiency perfectly. Macelleria Pellegrini. It's just a 5-minute walk from Porta Venezia.
Super close, but the experience feels like stepping back in time almost. You're having lunch at a historic butcher shop and delicatessen. You can practically smell the quality before you even walk in.
The place is amazing. Established way back in 1949. And get this, it actually started as a horse butchery.
Wow, really?
Yeah, until around 1959. Then they shifted focus. Now behind the counter, you see absolute prime cuts, steaks, beautiful ossobuco, you know, that classic braised veal shank, but also ready-to-cook classics like lasagna or carpaccio.
That's fantastic, isn't it? They're committed to maintaining the quality that made them a neighborhood staple all those decades ago.
And what's fascinating is how they leverage this tradition to offer truly modern value. I remember the lunchtime rush there. It gets pretty tight. You're eating standing up at these small tables right there in front of the shop entrance. It's fast, it's efficient, maybe a little awkward if you're juggling shopping bags.
Definitely, but you immediately get why everyone puts up with the squeeze. The value is just unbeatable. For just €14, you get a proper meal that includes a small glass of wine, water, bread, some fruit, and your main meat dish. They are served on disposable plates and cups, but you can't beat that.
Yeah, you can get their amazing knife-cut tartar, which is delicious. There are usually several options like the classic steak tartare, simply with salt, pepper, parmesan, and parsley. There's also a spicy version with mustard and chili peppers. My favorite is the tartare with capers, olives, and mustard.
The classic brisket burger is always a solid choice too, or you can just order a perfectly cooked sliced steak. Simple but good. And if you're feeling adventurous, they still serve premium horse meat steak.
And if you're ready for the full Milan immersion, order the Costoletta, a veal cutlet that is bone-in, breaded, and fried. This is a famous dish from Lombardy, a symbol of regional cuisine along with risotto alla Milanese, which we talked about in the previous episode. Their signature breaded Milanese-style cutlet costs €22, but the price includes hearty sides, wine, and water. It's a complete traditional meal at a fraction of the price you'd pay in a fancier restaurant.
And there's no coperto charge.
Exactly. For people listening who might not know, what exactly is coperto?
That's a great question. So, coperto is basically a mandatory cover charge or service charge in Italy. It's usually €2 or €3 per person. Avoiding it means that €14 or €22 is genuinely all you pay for that whole spread. It's super transparent pricing that makes a huge difference, actually. And considering the protein options you get for that price, I mean, it's astounding.
Okay, just a quick practical pointer for anyone planning their route. Macelleria Pellegrini takes its traditions seriously. They serve lunch during typical Italian hours from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. and are closed on Sundays and Mondays.
Good point. Weekday protein fix it is.
Now, If standing up for lunch at a bustling butcher shop isn't quite your vibe, or maybe you just need to switch gears from protein to some comforting carbs.
Which sometimes you definitely do.
Yeah, we've got you covered. We're transitioning to Pasta Fresca Brambilla. This is another quick 5-minute walk from Porta Venezia, but it feels like walking into someone's cozy family kitchen.
It really does. It's the definition of a hidden gem. It's one of the oldest pasta factories in the area. Actually, it dates back to 1969, founded by Maria Rosa Brambilla. Now her daughter Stefania runs it. They evolved from just being a workshop selling fresh pasta to adding this tiny bistro space because, well, the community demanded it.
That makes sense.
It only seats about 15 people inside, maybe a few more with the summer patio, but that's part of the charm, you know?
Definitely. That limited seating and the family vibe are super appealing. But let's talk logistics for a second. If it only seats 15 people and everything is handmade and fresh, does the promise of speed and convenience for a quick lunch really hold up during peak hours?
That's a fair question. Speed here isn't about getting your food in 60 seconds flat. It's more about quality and efficiency. They don't mess around. The menu isn't even printed because it changes daily based on what fresh produce they've got. The staff simply tells you the available options, and importantly, they speak English. It feels like a family gathering, but it also really streamlines the ordering. The speed comes from the perfectly executed rotation of dishes, and knowing that the pasta is probably only minutes old.
That makes sense. So, what stands out on their menu? What should people look for?
Well, the menu structure is pretty smart. They always offer a set of 3 appetizers. A perfect way to start the meal. We had the potato gâteau, a fantastic creamy quiche, and high-quality burrata cheese.
But the star obviously is the pasta. You usually get a trio of ravioli to try different things. And the lemon ravioli are my favorites. They're the ones people rave about. They're just so bright, light, perfectly done.
These lemon raviolis are truly memorable, but I love their variety. Even though the menu itself is small, they seem to cover all the bases. They have vegetarian options like borage with pine nuts, pumpkin, asparagus, and other variations based on seasonal produce. They also have hearty meat fillings like roast or braised beef, and even delicate fish options like ravioli with swordfish or shrimp. So much choice in those little pockets.
Totally. And if you're craving something classic, their fresh tagliatelle or other fresh pasta served with ragu sauce or fresh bold pesto will be your favorite. Appetizers and pasta dishes start around €13, and the menu always includes one dessert for €5. Also, here there's no coperto.
Pretty reasonable.
Very. If you want a glass of wine with your meal, expect an extra €7. But you can always stick with water.
And the service is friendly and very attentive, but, and that's an important one, seating is quite limited. You can snag a table as a walk-in, especially during off-peak hours or on weekdays. However, it can get busier during lunch rushes, so making a reservation is pretty much essential to guarantee a spot.
Alternatively, you can simply buy pasta to make it home. After 4 p.m., they sell it to go. Theoretically, they're open until the evening, but in practice, they stay open only until they sell out of that day's handmade pasta.
And just like the butcher, they're also closed Sunday and Monday, so plan your pasta fix accordingly.
Now, before we move on, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode of Bites of Italy. Subscribing means you'll always get the freshest food stories from all over Italy straight to your feed.
That's right. You'll be first to know when a new food adventure drops. And don't forget to share this episode with a fellow food lover. It really helps others discover authentic Italian dining experiences like these.
Speaking of an authentic Italian culinary experience, let's move on to our third spot. This time, we're exploring another side of Milanese convenience, the revival of the rotisserie.
Exactly. We're heading to Rosticceria Palazzi. This one's about a 15-minute walk, maybe slightly further, but honestly, it's worth the extra step.
Agreed. But before we dive in, let's quickly explain what a rosticceria actually is in Italy.
Good point. These places are basically local shops that prepare and cook a variety of hot and cold dishes. Everything from roasted meats and pasta to vegetables and fresh salads. Think of it as Italy's answer to fast food, but without the burgers and fries. It's all real, home-style food, freshly made, served quickly, and at a fraction of restaurant prices. The dishes are cooked on the spot and kept piping hot, ready for takeaway or a quick meal.
Exactly. And they're everywhere in Italy. Locals love them. Some are pretty standard, but the great ones serve food that's genuinely restaurant quality, just much more affordable.
And that's exactly what Rosticceria Palazzi is. The place has been around since 1992, but recently underwent a major transformation following the death of its original owner. Now it feels like a mini restaurant that just happens to be super convenient.
Yeah, this place is part of the recent gourmet rotisserie/deli trend. The whole concept has become the perfect solution for cheaper, more convenient, and yet extremely high-quality food. Perfect for anyone craving authentic Italian flavors on the go.
The atmosphere combines classic elements like the white tiles and those globe chandeliers, reminiscent of a classic home kitchen with a more contemporary feel. There is a high counter and 2 tables with tall stools that can seat approximately 15 people, as well as a small wine rack to accompany the meal with a glass. The entire vision clearly focuses on reviving that neighborhood gathering place feel, bringing back the concept of conviviality.
But the critical update, the real game changer, is the food quality. They brought in a team that includes a chef with experience in Michelin-starred restaurants. So even the seemingly simple classic dishes are executed at an extremely high level.
That definitely elevates the deli concept.
Yeah, they've got maybe 15 to 20 timeless Italian classics available every day, plus rotating daily specials. Loads of choice. When you buy takeout, you buy by weight. If you want to eat in, you choose from a menu. Everything is served on aluminum plates. And you absolutely cannot miss the signature roast chicken. They treat this classic dish with almost scientific rigor. There's this lengthy prep process. The chicken is left to rest for hours to make sure the skin gets incredibly crispy.
Crispy skin is key.
It really is. The chicken is sourced from a gourmet supplier, and it's traditionally paired with these fantastic baked potatoes. Simple yet perfect. A half chicken with potatoes and water costs only 16 euros. And here too, there is no cover charge, coperto.
But it's not just the chicken, right? The other classics are spot on too.
Oh, definitely. We're talking proper lasagna with ragu or perfect eggplant parmigiana, which with the toppings and water costs 12 euros. But my favorites are the mandagili, the classic Milanese meatballs.
Which we also talked about in the previous episode.
Yeah, but here they're made with bollito misto, a mix of cooked meats like beef, veal, and pork, and perfectly seasoned with herbs and lemon zest. So good, so deliciously crispy. It's the kind of dish you remember for days.
It really is. I enjoyed the risotto with fresh porcini mushrooms for 9 euros. Initially, I was hesitant to order risotto at a rosticceria, as it's a dish that shouldn't be prepared in advance. I gave in because I love porcini and eat them every time I get a chance when they're in season. And I don't regret it. I don't know how they did it, but the risotto was delicious. I got it with a glass of Trebbiano white wine from Abruzzo for 4 euros and enjoyed a truly exquisite meal on budget.
I agree. I had a Langa Dolcetto red wine from Piedmont, which was also excellent.
Their wine list seems to fit that sharing vibe perfectly. They stock around 80 different wines, sold by the bottle, mostly Italian and French, all chosen to pair easily with that simple, high-quality deli food. It's clear that the new owners know their wines.
And not only wines. Be sure to try their signature cocktail, the bicicletta or bicycle. It's Campari soda mixed with white wine and orange peel. Very refreshing but quite strong. And the charming story behind the name is that back in the day, patrons would have trouble riding their bikes after having a drink or two too many.
What a story. Sounds crazy, but fun.
Yeah. Now let's talk about location. This place is the most flexible of the three, which is a big win if you're trying to plan your day.
Definitely. Rosticceria Palazzi is open daily, 7 days a week from morning until 9:30 p.m. Perfect for lunch, an aperitivo, or even an early casual dinner.
In fact, during aperitif time after 5 p.m., you can order half portions of some dishes. Like Spanish tapas, this option is sort of designed for sharing and sampling little portions.
It encourages you to grab a few things, sample everything, share it around.
Okay, now, let's sum up our culinary journey. We found these 3 high-quality, authentic options that are very reasonably priced. And variety is the key, right?
Yeah, the variety is amazing. You can get a super hearty protein meal, standing tables only at a historic butcher shop, or you can sit down for a really cozy handmade artisan pasta experience. Or you can embrace that modern trend of sharing gourmet classics at a beautifully updated rotisserie.
3 totally different vibes, all great value.
Exactly. So, whether you need that quick, affordable protein or carbs fix before hitting another gallery, or a heartwarming family style meal where you feel genuinely welcome, these three spots give you speed, complete authenticity, and maybe most importantly, that peace of mind. You walk away feeling like you've got the inside scoop on Milan's real food scene, and you're totally satisfied.
Absolutely. And before we wrap up, don't forget to join us for our next episode of Bites of Italy.
That's right. Next time, we're taking a short trip north to one of Italy's most stunning destinations, Lake Como. We'll be exploring the culinary side of three charming lakeside towns, uncovering their local specialties, lakeside dining traditions, and the dishes that make Como cuisine unforgettable.
So, pack your appetite and tune in next time for another delicious journey on Bites of Italy. Ciao!